Latin 3. We are on chapter 78 for the Argonauts, A Dangerous Experiment, which is funny because just a couple chapters earlier, it was a fearful expedient, both having to do with Medea. While the daughters of the king, stunned, stupentes means stupefy, but they're gaping, I guess. You know, they're just sitting. So gaping, while the daughters of the king, gaping at this miracle, were watching, Medea spoke thus. You see how strong my medicine is. Therefore, you all, if you want your father to be returned to his youth, should do that which I myself did. Throw the body parts of your father into the cauldron, and I will produce the magic herbs. Now, I love that she went, by the way, to the imperative there. There was no subjunctive. There was no, like, optative or, like, if only somebody would. Like, she's straight up telling them, commanding them to do so, which kind of actually grammatically shifts this evil act into even more evil. Instead of, like, I just showed them what was possible. I didn't know they... So there's that. Also, have you ever made, like, a Father's Day card for your dad? And then imagine chopping his body up afterward and then putting it, like the first 4 or 5 chops, that's what's really going to get his attention and upset him. Like the last 12 to 15, you know, you're just kind of cleaning and being tidy. But like the first few, like it's got to be a real surprise for the guy. So, when this was heard, the daughters of the king, they thought that they ought not ignore the plan which Medea had given them. Therefore, they killed their father, Pelias, and they threw his body parts into the copper cauldron. Moreover, they were not doubting, or they doubted nothing indeed, that this would turn out very well for him, Pelias. But things turned out altogether differently than they had hoped, and Medea did not give the same herbs which she had used herself previously. So she had the life-saving herbs for the ram. Obviously, it worked, but then this time she threw in oregano instead of basil. Therefore, after they awaited for a long time in vain, they realized indeed, truly, that their father was dead. Now, this is another one of those where I think this absolutely could have been its own verbal final of just like 3 of you sitting there in front of a cauldron, very low budget, and just like having a conversation and having one of them go, no, we're still waiting. No, this has worked. We saw the ram. Did you see the ram? We all saw the ram. So don't you sit there doubting me. And then like the hours go by, and like just none of them want to be the one who says, guys, I think we killed our dad, but they're all thinking it. You could do the internal monologue, like, oh, it would have been beautiful. Anyway, once these things had been carried out, Medea hoped that she would accept the throne together with her husband. But the citizens, when they realized in what way Pelias had died or had perished, they bore such a wickedness poorly. Therefore, once Jason and Medea had been expelled from the kingdom, they chose Acastus to be the king. I do like the idea that, like, she's like, okay, well, we toppled the king. Doesn't really matter how we did it. We're clearly the ones who are supposed to be in charge, right? And everybody was like, no, that's not how that works, as it turns out. So goodbye. Which is interesting because Medea, I don't know if you know this, like we did the map, and she lived in the Colchidan territory with Aeetes, but there was a lot of trade that the Phoenicians had. Going up and down. I mean, they were kind of all over the Mediterranean, but they also had control up into the Bosphorus. So it's entirely possible that Medea was of Phoenician ancestry. So the people of Pelias, Pelias's people, very possibly could have said, "Bye, Phoenicia. I'm going to hit the button now.